In this lesson, I will show you how you can add relations to 2D objects. By adding relations, you can create a relationship of interdependence between the 2D shapes that are applied. To better understand what relations are, let's move on to some examples. First and foremost, I have to remind you that in order to edit a 2D object, you have to edit the corresponding sketch. So I will click on Sketch 1 and select the Edit Sketch option. Now to add relations, I will expand the Display Delete Relations button options and I will activate the Add Relation tool. Once I do, the Property Manager palette activates. In the Selected Entities area, the selected objects appear. At the moment, this field is empty because no object is selected. In the first example, I will make the line horizontal. First, I will lock its left endpoint so it will not be moved. So I will select the endpoint and notice that it appears in the Selected Entities area. Right below, in the Existing Relations area, the relations that have already been added appear. Since no relations have been added yet, nothing appears in the Existing Relations area. Below the Existing Relations area, the available relations appear. In this case, the only available relation is the fix relation. The fix relation locks the point in place. So I will click on it and the relation is automatically added in the Existing Relations area. In addition, the relation symbol appears in the drawing area. Next, I will select the line. Once I select the line, its name appears in the Selected Entities area. Notice that the available relations appear below. From the options that I'm given, I will select the horizontal option and the line automatically becomes horizontal. At this point, I will click OK and I will move on to the next example. In the next example, I will make the next line vertical. This time, I will just select the line. Once I selected the line, the Property Manager palette activated. From the Add Relations area, I will select the vertical relation and the line becomes vertical. I can either click OK or click somewhere in the drawing area to deselect the line and move on to the next example. At this point, I should mention that relations can also be applied to pairs of objects. For example, the parallel relation is applied between two lines. Before I apply this relation, I will select the line on the right and I will add the fix relation in order to keep this line in place. Next, I will select both lines and from the Add Relations list, I will select the parallel relation. In the next example, I want the line on the right to be collinear with the bottom side of the shape on the left. So I will select the bottom side of the shape first, and while holding the Control key down, I will also select the line on the right. From the Property Manager palette, I will select the collinear relation. Now the selected lines are indeed collinear. Another important and useful relation is the perpendicular relation. As you can see, the lines of the next example intersect, forming a random angle. To make this angle right, I will select both lines and I will add the perpendicular relation. If I also want them to have the same length, then I have to add the equal relation too. However, I will add the equal relation in the next example where the two lines are already perpendicular. So I will select the two perpendicular lines and I will add the equal relation. Notice that in the Existing Relations area, both perpendicular and equal relations appear. The equal relation can also be applied in circles and arcs. By selecting two circles of different diameter and adding the equal relation, the circles' diameters become equal. I can also make circles and arcs concentric easily by adding the concentric relation. So I will select the two circles of the next example and I will add the concentric relation. As expected, the circles became concentric. Now if I want a circle and an arc to have the same radius and the same center, then I have to add the corradial relation. So I will select the circle and the arc of the next example and I will click to add the corradial relation. This relation could also be applied in two circles or two arcs. In the following example, I will show you the tangent relation. This relation can be applied between circles, arcs, lines, and circles, or lines and arcs. In this case, I have created a circle and a line. I will select both shapes and I will add the tangent relation. Once I did, the circle moved and the line is now tangent to the circle. Now, if I want the point of an arc or a line to coincide with a specific point of another shape, I can select those 2 points and apply the coincident constraint. Let's say I want the right endpoint of the line to coincide with the center of the circle. I will select the center of the circle and the endpoint of the line and add the coincident relation. The last relation I will show you is the equal length curve. By adding the equal length curve relation, the selected arcs, circles, or curves will have the same length. So at this point, I will select the 2 arcs and apply the relation. The 2 arcs may not be identical, but they have the same curve length. I suggest that you experiment a little bit with relations because they are extremely important and useful while drawing.